Okay. Well, I would really like to welcome everybody here. So happy to have everybody on. This is what, our second Zoom call. It's still new to me and I'm still learning the ropes, but I'm really enjoying it. And today we have a very special guest with us, Holly Hardy. And say hi, Holly. Just there you go. Holly is an Emerald executive with Thrive Life. There's only two Emeralds, and she's one of them. And I feel very honored to call her my friend. And she is so encouraging and so upbeat and so uplifting. Every time I'm around her at a convention or something like that, or I email her or whatever, let me just tell you a little story about her. We were in the leadership conference in San Diego. That was in I think it was in 2018. And I had just made Platinum Executive, which was pretty cool. And my sponsor, Michelle, also made Platinum Executive at the same time. And we went up onto the platform to get the awards at the convention for the Platinum. But Holly had just made Emerald. And so she went up first and she got her award for Emerald. And for Emerald, you get a check of, I think it was like, what, 2,000 or something like that you're supposed to use toward renovating your kitchen or something like that. And so she went up and they gave her this great big huge check that she was carrying down, And then after that, Michelle and I went up and got our awards for being Platinum. And then as I came down off of the platform, Holly was standing in the back. She still had that big check under her arm. And she was on the other side of the room. And I caught her eye and I just gave her the thumbs up like this. And she looked at me and she mouthed across the room. She said, "You're next." And I'll never forget that I had just made Platinum and she says, "You're next," talking about Emerald. That was such a boost for me. And she's just so encouraging. And that's just the way she is. And I absolutely love her. And I'm so happy to have her here with us this evening. So, Holly, you live in Utah, right?
I do, yes.
Okay. And you've got what, 2 kids?
2 plus 9. Yes.
Plus 9. And I saw a couple of years ago, well, first of all, if everybody saw the video of Holly that I put on to our Thrive Train, it was a little introduction when she made Emerald, and Jason came to see her. That was a new house that you had just moved into, right?
Yes.
So I assume you built a house big enough to house all of your kids. And and I'm also assuming that was possible because of Thrive, to be able to build a home like that.
That and many other things, all the moves and the travels and the things that we've done through the years to free us up has been because of Thrive. It's been amazing.
Right, absolutely. And everyone in my upline, from me all the way up to corporate, and there's 5 people above me, every one of us is either a Platinum or an Emerald. So I don't know how many of you knew that, but you're in a line of people who are actively involved, and that's a good place to be. And a lot of people will look at me, a lot of my team members will look at me and say something like, "Well, it's easy for you. You've got that big YouTube channel. I don't know how to do this." And they just sort of assume that you got to have a big YouTube channel or something in order to be successful in this business. So, Holly, tell me about your YouTube channel.
My YouTube channel when I started was 7 children. That was big.
Okay.
I had kids. That was it.
Oh, so you don't have a big YouTube channel?
No YouTube.
Okay. My point is, all of the people above me that are all Platinum or Emerald have all done it without a big YouTube channel. In fact, I only know of 3 of us consultants who have big channels. There are a lot of people that have small ones, that are just starting out. But there's more traditional ways to do it besides YouTube. And this is what we want to talk about. Holly has done that. And so we're here specifically to talk about the one-on-one tasting, but you also wanted to talk about some other things. And so take it away, Holly. We're waiting for your wisdom.
Awesome, Bill. Wow. Well, hello, you guys. It's just a thrill for me to be able to join the Thrive Train. Woo woo! Tonight, we're just really excited to have you on here. And like Bill said, he was the first one in the company that actually started growing this business successfully with YouTube. And so all of us that were before him did it the old-fashioned way. And we're going to talk about that because that old-fashioned way works great. And it works great in 2020 with the circumstances we all find ourselves in right now too. So we will talk about that. I want to know a little bit about my history. Like I said, my only YouTube large gathering for myself was my family. I had 7 kids at the time in 2009 when I started. And when I went to my first tasting, I came home and just couldn't forget about that corn we had tasted, which you all I'm sure have had. And I couldn't get it out of my mind because food storage was very important to us in our life, but we only had dehydrated. And if you bite on dehydrated corn, you're going to break your tooth. And I couldn't believe this freeze-dried stuff. So told my husband about it. And he's like, well, you should be a consultant. And I said, there's no way I'm doing that. I have a full load with my children. The age ranges were 14 down to a baby that was about, I started November. He was about 7 months old. So from 14 to 7 months, huge, you know. But I couldn't get those words out of my mind. You should be a consultant. And it stirred at me because no, I didn't have time to do it. None of us do, right? But yet this was so important. And it was a passion for me to be prepared. And it just drove me to get others prepared. Couldn't get out of my mind. So I did. I jumped in and did it. And in those 4 years, within a 4-year period, we moved 4 times. So when you think of your business and your network you're creating, especially back then it was tastings, I don't think we even had social media in 2009. I barely had gotten my first cell phone, so we didn't. And so this is all like neighbors. And I didn't really I had associates, people I knew, but not like friends because I was too busy in my own life to have friends. But I realized everybody around me ate. Everybody ate. And so when you think of starting over 4 times in 4 years in your new area, again, that's very possible. And so we went from Utah to another place in Utah to Hawaii, back to Utah, and then down to St. George in Utah. So bouncing around quite a bit in those 4 years. And so I learned a few things that we're going to talk about tonight. And I don't know if this goes backwards. This is very simple, little whiteboard. The first letter, if you've got notes, F. If you can see, can you even read that? Is it backwards or normal?
No, it's good. It's good.
Okay. So Bill, what's that word that you're seeing going up and down like that?
Focus.
Focus. All right, guys, we're going to talk about focus because I tell you what, everything about me, about the way I did it, everything is simple. That's all I can take in my head and in my life is simple. And you can build a business simple. I went from a brand new consultant on November 2009 to a platinum executive November 2010. 1 year, hit platinum. By sharing genuinely with those around me, okay? But there was a focus. I knew if I was going to do this, I had to be intentional with my time and intentional of how to be successful with this. And to build, you can share Thrive. That's awesome. You can share it because you love it and hopefully people buy. And that's a hobby and that's fun. That's great. It's awesome. But I wasn't going to do this for just a hobby. I didn't need a hobby in my life. So I was focused and intentional. And to build a business, it's all about deliveries and consultants. 2 things. I think we can put that in our head. 2 things, deliveries, consultants. And then as your consultants duplicate those basics, deliveries, consultants, you grow, they grow. Duplication is key. All right. So like Bill right now, he's got the Thrive Train, he's growing. And as you guys get teams, you're growing. You have your own teams. Do team things. Duplicate what Bill's doing. You jump in on your main head guy and you do your own little things too. And you're building your networks and your groups. As you duplicate consultants, deliveries, that's how you grow a business. That's all I did. So the first F on focus, we're going to say flexible. Okay, so if you're taking notes, you got to be flexible. That was really huge. As we moved around, I had children. I have to be flexible. I have to change things up. When we moved to Hawaii, didn't know a single soul, but I knew every single house around me ate. And that's really helpful in our business. So I had tried reaching out to my neighbors, left some postcards, and in this particular area, center of the island, Mililani on Oahu, people didn't open their doors. I remember going to some and knocking, like you tell your friendly, you open the door, you hand out a postcard, people are friendly. There they weren't, they're like, what in the heck is this person doing at my door? And so I didn't get anybody to come to my first party. Nobody came. And I handed out probably 40 postcards and went door to door. And so I'm home and my husband is gone with the kids because now we have 8 kids at this time, a brand new baby, 6 weeks old, moving to Hawaii. And he calls like, hey, how'd your party go? And I'm like, oh, nobody showed. And then all the kids in the background of the car, they're like, oh, we're so sorry, Mom. Oh my gosh, it's so sad. I'm like, no, it's fine. I said, I'm at my whiteboard. I love a whiteboard. And I'm mapping out other ideas. Where else do people eat? Where do people go? How do you meet people, network? And I just started diagramming. And for me, it was a think tank. It wasn't like, oh, in my area, nobody's interested. Nobody's interested here where I live. My area is too small. The people around here, they're not into food storage. None of that. I was like, people eat. Where do people go? I started going. So back in 2009, we were more food storage oriented. Now we're both, right? But even kind of in 2020, we're really seeing people want that self-reliance again. But we have both right now. So I started Googling what was going on in our town, what was happening. And I see this Red Cross event. I was like, well, these are prepared people at least that are going to go to this. So I remember I went and showed up to that and was fascinated with everything they were learning. And one of the things they talked about was there was only 7 days of food for that entire island if something happened. Their ship docks were knocked out or something happened. They only had 7 days of food. And I just, are you kidding me? Holy cow, that's pretty terrifying, right? So I went up and talked to the lady after that was giving it. And I said, you know what, hey, I belong to Thrive Life, well, Chef Alliance at the time, but I said, and we do tastings for people to try the food and be able to get food in their home. Would you be interested in that? And she's like, sure. So we set up a tasting and kind of jumped with that. And then I was up on North Shore and I was out snorkeling, talked to somebody that was snorkeling there out with me. They asked what we're doing in Hawaii. I said, my husband's working on his PhD and I did Thrive Life. And anyway, she's like, I would love to host. Like, can I do that? I'm like, my heart like dropped because this is my first host. And I was like, well, yeah, absolutely. You can do that, So I remember being flexible where you are, who you're talking to. And in this day and age, we all eat. Share what you do, share what we have, and be willing to offer that to others. Okay, so that's first, the F, flexible. The second one is O, and this is all about others. Thrive is all about others. And I know that I've met many consultants along the journey this last 11 years where they want to share Thrive to build their business. It's all about building their business, which that's another great perk. But for me, this is all about others getting prepared, all about other consultants being able to also earn side income or really build significant business, thousands, tens of thousands a month. You can build that with this company. Okay, you guys. So this one hit me when I moved down to St. George. We'd gotten back from Hawaii, moved to Utah. We moved to Cache Valley. It's freezing. We decided, no, this is way too cold. We went down to St. George. And by this time, my husband was freed up financially. He didn't have to go back to work. We bought a beautiful house, had palm trees and a pool. We're feeling pretty spoiled, but it was really fun for the kids because we've always lived on like farms and stuff. And I thought I would just take a break for a while. And I'm in my pantry and I'm looking at all my Thrive food and it just hit me like a ton of bricks. You cannot be selfish and not share this with others. And I just stood back. I was like, no, I've done my time doing parties. I've done this for years and years. I wanted that feeling like this break. And I had this feeling, you can't stop sharing this. It was so powerful. That very moment, I walked out of my pantry, grabbed my postcards and just started labeling for my first. I didn't know who I was inviting. I didn't even know anybody yet. I just knew I had to go share. So I loaded my 2 little kids in the stroller. I put a strawberry, banana, and pineapple in a little baggie and stapled it to the invitation. And I went around and met my neighbors. and invited them over for a tasting. This is what I do. I'd love for you to come join us. We have food, it's fun, very educational, and it'll be well worth your time. And springboarded the business down there. Because even if 2 show up, I think 3 showed up that first one. And I would just keep doing that until I could spur out of it to get a host. But I remember there was one particular time where that dry spell and you're stuck. You don't know, you've already kind of exhausted the hosting where you're inviting people in or your hosts. And I got to a spot, and that's where the one-on-one started. I was talking to a friend somewhere, and she did not want to come to a party and she did not want to host. She really wanted to try the food. And I've always up to this point was like, well, if I'm going to do a tasting, I'm going to make it worth it by inviting more people, because you want to be smart with your business, your time, right? But she really didn't want that. So I went up to her house. She wanted to do smoothies because she was very healthy, and chicken salad. And so just went up there, made a little smoothie, made a little bit of little chicken salad, like, put a little bit of bowl, a little bit of water, enough for her to be able to sample and share. And she just loved it and ordered tons, got on the delivery and ordered a lot of food. And I remember thinking after that one-on-one, people eat. So I started then just inviting like a friend over. Hey, do you want to come try this at my house? They're like, sure. I'm like, feel free to bring your husband, or if you want to bring a friend or bring anybody, come on over. And the one-on-one just started like that. Now, again, if you can get more people and you want to, but not everybody is comfortable with that. And this is just another avenue. I wouldn't say replace hosting or parties with this. It's in addition to. So one-on-ones is just inviting one over. Now, of course, in this day and age too, don't go to some strangers one-on-one. Don't go. In Hawaii, I went to one sketchy party down in Honolulu. After that party, oh my gosh, I'll just say the spirit told me, get out now. And I got out now. And next time I always brought my oldest son to come with me to events, because there was some I don't know, there's just some interesting people. So be smart as well, always. But when you know people or girlfriends or whatever, invite somebody over, go there. And remember, that's in addition to online, social media, emails, tastings. And still in this day and age, I tell you what, you guys, even with, I don't even see our supply as limited, because when I started, we had a 1-page price sheet. Chicken salad came in our kits, but we didn't even have freeze-dried meats. So we would sample the chicken salad, but they couldn't buy it because it didn't even exist yet. But that's okay. I never looked at it like that. I was like, but you can get strawberries, you can get pineapple, and we had limited fruits and vegetables, and I think milk. It was so limited. And so we can always look at things as like, oh, this isn't working right, or we don't have very many products. I know people selling over $50,000 a month, personal sales, with the limited supplies we have. So is there a lot of things that people can still buy? Yes. So don't let that get you down at all. We will get more things in. So that never bothers me at all. And I've heard it quite a few times, new customers or whatever. Oh, there's just not very many things to buy. And I'll say, oh, yes, there are. Get the things that you can get right now. Next month, we'll have new things in, and you can gather those things. Gather what you can while you can. They're like, oh, okay, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. So just had a customer the other day, $1,500 order. A customer a couple weeks ago, $5,500 order. So people are still buying with limited. Okay, we have plenty. We have food, and we'll have more things coming in. So that's awesome. So it's all about others. And think of that pantry story. Don't be selfish. You cannot not share this. And that's what just got me out of my comfort zone to go do it again. All right, so now we're going down to the C. And the C is calculate. If you want anything successful in life, you want to break it down, map it out. If you're doing a health plan or want to lose weight, or my son is the assistant tennis coach at the high school, and he just last night, I wish I had his paper, because I said, oh my gosh, I want that for my training. he just was mapping out all this unusual color coding, all this different stuff. I was like, what are you mapping out? He's like, my training schedule. I said, but this is till next March. He's like, yeah, this is what I'm working on specifically every week until next March. I'm like, holy cow, because March is when the boys' season starts. But I just thought that was so cool. He knew how to take a big goal and break it down into sections, weekly goals. Same thing with Thrive. This is a business if you want it as a business. So break it down. I had a cool experience the other day. I needed another delivery. And whenever I do this, it's called if you heard law of attraction or power of your mind, power of positive thinking, I will write down our business builder goals each month, right? Our minimums, 4 deliveries, 2 consultants. And I'll just put 4 lines, 2 lines. And I put that down and I had all of the consultants and 3 of the deliveries, but I had 1 more delivery I needed. I circled that. And I knew that was my goal for the next day, because you want to plan your days in advance, right? Because when you wake up in the morning, you have such a momentum to start your day. So I had done that, and that was my goal for the day, was to get that final delivery. And I get a call out of the blue, which this doesn't normally happen. It usually comes from emails, but call out the blue. She's like, hi, this is so-and-so. I really wanted to start that monthly service thing you had. Is there a way I could do that? And I was like, absolutely. Let me get your information, because I'll do it for them if I can, because I like to make sure it gets done, you know? And so she's like, sure. She gave me all of her information. Bam, there's that delivery. And I just thought, how cool is that? When we are intentional, we map it out, we're calculating, you're just handed over these blessings. It's just really, really amazing. So be specific, calculate, plan your days in advance. What are you needing for your business? How are we helping others? And calculate how you're going to make that happen. The next one is you. And you is just what you're doing tonight. Utilize your uplines. You've got your different uplines in this company. And like Bill said, from him all the way up, you have platinums and the 2 emeralds in the company. So we're here to help you succeed. Make a game plan, be ready to go to action. But really, it's simple things, guys, simple, and build. And remember, the key to a business is duplication of your team. That's what will grow your rank. You want rank advancements. And so utilize your uplines as you need and get ready for action. And the final one is S is be specific. This, again, it's so simple, but it's so important. What is it you want? Why are you doing Thrive? What is your why? Say your why to try, or the why that makes you cry. Why are you doing this? Do you need side income? Do you want to be more financially free? Is it to one of my reasons at the beginning as well? There's the one that made me cry was I really wanted to free up my husband to do what he wanted to do, not have to work paycheck to paycheck. And that feeling like dad was always at work or at school, and I just wanted him to feel freed up, and it just drove me. And when that's right deep within you, it empowers you to move forward, even when you feel like there's obstacles. There's no brick walls. It's not knocking down that brick wall. It's how are we going to go up it, around it, whatever we need to do. And so be specific with why you're doing this. Feel that passion, that excitement to move forward. Bill, that's our focus for tonight. That is what I have for you guys. I hope you'll remember some of those stories when it feels like, oh, nobody even wants this. Nobody's even interested. I don't know. Be ready to make phone calls. Be ready to reach out. If you're sending emails or you're making some posts and you see some people like it, don't be afraid to reach out. Be afraid to reach out to them and say, hey, I noticed you liked that post. What is it you're interested in? Or what is it you liked about it? Or have you heard of Thrive Life? Have you tasted Thrive Life? Just think of what might be of interest for them. It's all about them. And then it's just a win-win business, a win-win situation all the way around. And my husband said at the beginning, what better business could you do? I mean, think of a startup cost of the business, $100. Back in our day, it was $199 with a chicken salad that we couldn't sell. There was nothing in our kit, but that still was the cheapest business I had ever heard of. $200 and then you pay that back and the rest is profit. Like that's insane. So we have that blessing for so many more around us. And I just think everyone should be a consultant. They don't know that yet, but that's my job to help them see why that's the very best and then teach them how they can do this. So there you go, Bill and
Okay.
team.
Very cool. One of the things that I'm particularly interested in, you said that you moved a lot. And every time you move to a new place, you don't know anybody.
Mm-mm.
So you mentioned a little bit about how you started doing some one-on-ones after you moved. What did you just put together some samples and just start going to door then? Or how did you get the contacts after you moved?
Yeah, no, it was definitely key people that I would run into and felt comfortable with. So I didn't do one-on-ones like a knock on the door. I definitely invited in for groups for that. But you know, if I ran into people, ran into somebody, well, it was our bank teller, and I don't even know why they asked. Maybe they saw one of the checks being deposited. I don't know, but they wanted to know more and did that with them as well. And then they became a consultant. And my children took, back in the day, we've started homeschooling the last 5 years, but when they went to school, took freeze-dried peaches was the particular one that they shared with their teacher, and yogurt bites. And the teacher loved it, invited them to the party. They signed up as a consultant. Our doctor, he was our neighbor, and he did stitches free for one of my kids because it was like really late at night. Super nice. So we gave him a thing of yogurt bites. Loved them. He signed up as a consultant.
Wow.
So I mean, just things that happen along the way, and as you're sharing it, and then why it's great if they're going to buy food, become a consultant, share this with other people. I mean, that's always what I let people know. Get on your own delivery, get this shared with other people and spread it. So
to make those contacts, then basically you just opened up your mind to thinking about talking to everybody that you run into in life, it sounds like.
Yeah, and not that I would just start talking about that. People, if you're engaged in conversation, they'll ask what you do. Like in Hawaii, they ask, why are you here? You have all these kids. So it's just natural that conversation would start. Those other ones, you know, with the peaches, she didn't know where you got such peaches like that. So that sparked a conversation. But yeah, as you're getting to know people, and then they let you know, and then you can say, I do one-on-one tastings. We also do, you know, back in the day, we called it parties, but we can come to your home, you can come to ours. And we just love for you to try this food. It's just incredible. And every home needs it.
I think that I had kind of the same attitude that you did when you first started, where you were saying, if you're going to do a tasting, you want to gather enough people together to make it worth your while. And it's like, is it really worth me going over there if there's only going to be 2 or 3 people? Mm-hmm. But what you're saying is you go if there's only one.
Yeah. Now, if I'm going to drive far away,
well, okay, but
I've never been that generous to do. But yeah, if I'm driving far, I tell them to get, 5 people or so. But right around where I am, absolutely. And you don't have to make it long. I mean, you can be there for 20 minutes.
Right.
And then just say, after they try the food, they love it, say, you want to get on a delivery. Super simple. You're in control of your own account. You can get whatever foods you want. And especially right now, guys, people want this. They don't even know about it. They don't even know. I get shocked. I'm in Utah and people still don't know about it. I don't know if that's possible, but it is. So.
Well, there's a couple things I really like about the one-on-one too, because I think that society has changed. And 10 years ago, parties were the big thing, Tupperware and Mary Kay and all that kind of stuff. But times have changed and people are just not as much into big parties, and people don't want to host because they don't want to clean their house and all those sorts of things. And so just doing a one-on-one is a lot less intimidating and a lot easier to find people to do it with, because it's just a personal thing. It's not this big organized thing. And also, I think a lot of consultants, when they first start out, they have a feeling about a tasting, like I said, it's this big organized thing that they have to have all this stuff together, and they have to do a presentation and flip charts and all of that kind of stuff. And I know so many consultants who wanted to get started and just never did because they were so intimidated by that whole process to actually think about being a presenter at a tasting with 15 people in the room. Whereas,
Bill, even when you talk about that gives me anxiety. And that's what I did for like 7 years.
Yeah.
That seems like the dinosaur ages back then. It's so much more simple now than having to do all of that. You're right.
But I think so many new consultants look at the tasting and think, and that's what they think of, because they've been to parties before in the past, and they, games and all those kinds of things, But what you're talking about is just meeting on a personal level with one person, and it's very not formal in any way. You just take a few samples and just tell them a little bit about it. It's just so much less intimidating especially for a new consultant to be able to do. So, also, what do you think about doing this in our current COVID environment? It's certainly easier to do a one-on-one than it is to get a group of people together. But do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, same thing, depending on your neck of the woods and your restrictions and all those wonderful things of 2020. Still in small groups, I think most areas in this country, you can do small, you can wear masks. I'm kind of the type like the non-masker people, but you can ask the host, or if it's your party, do what people are comfortable with. Same thing, but really people want this food, this freezer, this 25-year shelf life. Bill, you're probably the same right now. We had quite the spell there where it wasn't food storage. You don't even talk about food storage, right? But now that's what people are buying. They want that 25-year shelf life. This lady the other day, she goes, I just want to know when I die, my food is still good. So people have that feeling. And so, yeah, you can wear masks and taste the food. And I guess when you're at a restaurant anyway, we take off our masks. So you could take it off and eat your food, and they can get on their delivery right there. Just say, get on your delivery, start getting what you can right now and building your supply. That's what's great about our delivery. You build at your own budget and pace. If you want more now, stock up on it and get what you can right now. Sky's the limit. Because we don't want to put limits on people too. I've known on my team, one of my consultants, they had a $5,000 delivery customer a month. I know people that have sold in one-time orders $80,000 to one particular person.
Wow.
So we don't want to put our cap of just $100 on people. There's people that have money and they want to get it now. So just say that you can get on your own budget. You can get as much as you can while you can right now as well. But let's get you going on it. Let's get you set up.
Yeah, that I've had several orders that were 8,000, 10,000, and the $1,000 or $1,200 order to me is a common thing twice a month, maybe. And so you're right. You don't want to have your thinking too small. Get that $100. For a lot of people, that's a stretch to get the $100, but for a lot of people, it's not.
I had to learn that because when I started, back then it was the minimum was $50. And so I would always talk about this minimum, and all my deliveries signed up at $50. And I could not figure out why.
Right.
And then I kept realizing, I kept talking about the minimum is only $50. Oh, okay, we'll just do $50. And I thought, what a disservice I'm doing. That is a disservice I learned, because it's going to take somebody 5 or 10 years to get the food they actually want on $50 a month. So let's do them a service and not put any ceiling caps of our own on them.
Right. Absolutely. Okay, does anybody have questions? I see a couple things typed out over here, but I'm still new enough at this that I can't look at that when I'm talking to you.
Yeah, I had a quick question. With what's going on, obviously it's so awesome that we are out of stock on so many things, because that means that what we have is so desirable. And if anything, it should be something that we are excited about. So I definitely see that as a positive. But what would you recommend doing? Because I know you had said that a lot of times you'll have them fill out the form and then you'll process it for them. And sometimes when we are, doing, like an order or talking to people, and we're looking up and we're seeing that something's in stock, and then later that night when we go home and we process it, or we get home from the event, because we didn't have them do it right then and there in front of us, it's out of stock. So my question for you would be, would you avoid doing the paper orders right now until we get more stability in our inventory? Or is that something that you're currently doing, and when it goes out of stock, you have a particular way of handling it? Because I know for me, like there have been a couple of people that have listed like 7 or 8 things and all of them but one thing is in stock or something like that. So how would you handle that?
Yeah, absolutely. Great question, Amy. Awesome. So I do not take personal orders what they want. I just set up their delivery. And then when I get in the delivery, I just stick like a snacky in it, something, to get it activated, put in their credit card. And then I send them the link. Your delivery set up. Go on in there. It's going to process here in 2 days, but you're going to want to hit ship now today. So go in there and get the items that you want and then hit ship now, and then you'll have everything that you want. So I just set up, I do not do anything custom. And I've done that for a long time because of what you're talking about too. It's so frustrating to be there and then you have to try to make contact with them. You can't get a hold of them. And then you're like, ah! So I set them up, tell them you're ready to go, order. It's going to process in 2 days. But if you want your things now, go in there today, hit ship now when you're done. The other one I learned, Amy, too, just last week, I didn't realize, because I went into my delivery too, and when you're looking in your delivery at what's available, it's like, if you just see pantry cans, it's like out of stock, but you don't see all the different sizes, right? And so I was kind of freaking out last week too. I was like, wait, it's like literally everything out of stock. And then I went to my picker page, and on the picker page, you can see all the different sizes. And I started going, I'm like, oh no, we've got this, we've got this, we've got this. Oh, this is better than I thought looking at the delivery. So I emailed Jason Norton. I said, Jason, and that's the president of the company, for those that don't know. I said, Jason, we got to make it so people are directed to the picker page and not to this, because it looks like everything's out of stock. He says they are working on programming that. It's like, okay, phew. So I'm making sure people go to that picker page and then make sure they add it to their delivery, not their cart, to their delivery. But now my customers aren't frustrated like everything's out of stock. They can see, oh, I've got these different sizes, and they're okay. So that, I didn't just learn that till last week, but that was really helpful.
That's what I learned this week too. Not the picker page, because I don't really know what that is, but I learned that you have to push the drop downs and like pick each one to see, oh yeah, the number 10 can was out of stock, but if I wanted a pantry size, it was available, or vice versa. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I had to go to each one to find out if they were truly out of stock, which is kind of like, I gotcha.
No, like that just doesn't work for me in this day and age. And so I told Jason, we just can't be taking the time on each little item to go down. So Sonia, thank you. There is no, I don't know without just clicking on my link, a picker page. Everybody will have one on your website, but I don't know exactly if there's a place you go. I just send out my picker page link to my consultants, but maybe Bill will they can figure out how to do that so they can go into their website. And then you'll be able to see your picker page and send that to your customers, because it's very easy for you to shop. Bing, bing, bing. Everything's right in front of your face.
Absolutely. If you're going to each individual product page, you'll get so frustrated. Jeff Warnick just did a live today on Million Dreams team, and he said that he went to the picker page and actually counted, and we have right now, today, we have over 70 products that are in stock. So when people tell you they're out of stock, that's because they're going to the individual pages and they're seeing all the stuff that's out of stock. Send them to the picker page where they'll see that they are, we still have an awful lot of stuff in stock. And if you can't find something that you want, chances are there's something else that you could use. And so stock up on what's available now. And I've had a lot of people telling me that, people are just not buying because everything's out of stock. My personal sales have not dropped at all. Mm-hmm. I mean, people are finding stuff to buy, but they're going to the picker page where they can see it all. Now, to find the picker page, right at the top on the home page, right underneath the links at the top, I think it's a black line that goes across, and it says something about the easiest way to find out what's in stock. And there's a link right in the center, and that'll take you to the picker page. Also, to find it yourself, you just put /picker at the end. So like, for instance, my website is bkeller.thrivelife.com/picker. That's all you need. You can send that out to people and it'll take them right directly to your picker page.
That's perfect. So Sonia, you're going to want to go see that. You're going to be like, oh my gosh, we have so much things.
I see it there, but they don't have all the sizes. So sometimes it'll say out of stock anyways. and you still have to do the drop down to find that, oh, the number 10 can is in stock, but the other ones weren't. Does that make sense?
You shouldn't have to on the picker. All of them are there, right, Bill?
Okay.
I mean,
I will look.
all of them are there. Yes.
All of
I
them.
will look. Thank you.
Yes. That's what makes it so different shopping experience. Otherwise, if I was shopping Thrive Life on the delivery site, I'd be like, I'm done. I can't. They're out of everything. I would be done. So we've got to get the customers the right spot to go.
Right. On the picker page, underneath of each product, it'll have the name of the product. I don't remember. It might have a little thumbnail picture. I'm not sure. But underneath of that, most of them have 4 links. It'll have pantry can, a 10-pack pantry. It'll have the family can and a 6-pack of the family can. And they're 4 separate ones. And each one, it'll tell you at a glance whether that size is in stock or not. So that's by far the best way. And customers that go there are not nearly as frustrated.
Yeah, you guys will love that. And for your customers, you'll love that.
Okay, I see a question by Deborah Davis. I'm new and interested in how to do a tasting. I have pretty thorough training on that on our Thrive Train Facebook group. Are you, Deborah, are you on the Facebook group on Thrive Train? Are you there somewhere? Okay, I don't see her, but
I have to say, I just did it and it totally works. Oh my gosh, that is so awesome. That is the best thing ever. Oh my gosh. Thank you.
Oh, yay.
okay,
Awesome.
if Deborah's not here now, I will get back to her separately later, but I've
Bill?
got a whole bunch of.
I am here. I am here.
Okay, are you a member of the Thrive Train Facebook group?
Yes.
You got echo there somehow.
Let's see, wait, let me turn that down.
I don't know what that is. Anyway, if you go to the units on the Facebook group, then there's a bunch of training, and in I think it's the 3rd unit, marketing, I have several videos there. One is about a outline, and another one is an actual presentation that Elizabeth and I did, where you can see us actually doing it.
Thank you.
Bill, can I add to that for Deborah? And Deborah?
Go ahead.
Awesome. I just want to tell Deborah and others, we're all busy people. Nobody, like, I'm trying to make this short for you guys tonight too. We're almost to an hour though. It's gone by so fast. I can't believe it. But just take some simple foods, some of your simple favorite foods. This lasts for 25 years. You add water to it and you refresh it. Like, it's amazing. You have it now, you have it later. We all need this in our homes. Simple way to get it. Open up your phones, go to thrivelife.com, give me your website, and let's get you on a delivery and let's get started. Try some of the foods. Simple, simple, simple. Like, I would do 15 minutes, sample some of the dry, sample some of the wet, maybe some peas, corn, and the chicken salad. And then let them know we have our monthly delivery service and you can become a consultant. We have a great flyer on that where they can see something on those 2 things, but you definitely want to get on the monthly service because you build at your own pace, or you can stock up now and do whatever you want to do. You're in control of your account. And the best way to do that is also to become a consultant. So it is wonderful. And we can talk more about that too with those that have interest. I mean, seriously, 30 minutes in and out. When things are dragged on, I don't know, I fall asleep. I can't do it. I don't have that attention span. So we don't need to have it long. And let them try the food and let them know how to get it. Now, another thing, I tell you what, to be honest, I started 2009. It is sticker shocking for me to be able to pay the prices of what our food is right now. But the reality is food prices everywhere will never go back to what we know. And that's the same with Thrive too. So we can get this food right now. That is a great blessing. Get what we can right now. And this does have that shelf life. But I tell you what, in a year or 2, things will just be more money. So again, what's great if people don't have a lot of extra money, they can build at their own pace. This works for everyone. For those that can, I mean, they're paying $80 for eggs, but my friend the other day, she's like, I don't have any eggs. I'm going to buy a case of eggs. And it's $500. To me, I'm like, but at least we have eggs. Like, holy cow. So she felt that peace of mind. And I haven't bought eggs for a long time because I bought them a long time ago, but I'm going to need to use those up too because those don't have the 25-year shelf life. But just remember that people feel that peace of mind when they get their food, and let's help them do that. Keep things simple, move it forward, get them on a delivery, get them to be a consultant because it's the greatest thing for them. Super inexpensive and they get their food. So there's a little party in a nutshell for you, Deborah. And then you can watch Bill's things too. But don't let that stunt you. Sometimes you have the paralysis by analysis and you're like, all these things to do or checklists. Just invite some people over. Okay, if you've got a friend interested, hey, bring some of your friends or family. You'll be able to get free products by sharing. It'll be simple, it's delicious, and very well worth your time. Hope that helps.
Okay, I do see a couple questions about the Facebook group. It's a private group just for our team. It's called Thrive Train. And I have a Facebook group called Thrive Train. I also have a YouTube channel called Thrive Train. Now, the Facebook group right now is more up to date as far as the training because Amy and I have been working on updating that. There's a lot of training videos also on Thrive Train YouTube, and that's just open for anybody, anybody that can go see it. Some of the videos there I'm still in the process of updating those, but there's a lot of training there, especially on the Facebook group, as Amy and I are working on really updating that one right now. So, okay. Yeah, 50 minutes. Isn't that amazing, Holly?
Amazing. I told him it'll be 30 minutes, Bill. 30 minutes.
And I'm thinking, yeah, okay.
You knew.
Yeah. Well, this has been really super. I so appreciate your time. I know you've got other things going on this evening too when you're done here. So I just can't thank you enough for being a part of us. And
thank you. And I just want all of you guys to know if this is something you want to do to be successful with whatever your goals are, a little extra, a lot extra, more financially free, you can do that with Thrive. And it's really here. We're ready to see ranks happening. And again, how do we do that? Duplication. All right, deliveries and duplication. So keep doing what you guys are doing on Thrive Train and continue the great work. We're going into November. We usually have major big sales. Bill, have we heard? Are we going to have Black Friday sales?
Okay, this is amazing. In the last board meeting, they were talking about, they've already said that they were putting in a 5th freeze dryer. Jason just said that they've just ordered a 6th freeze dryer. Looking forward to the future. Yeah. Can you believe
what? Oh my gosh, you guys, these are like millions of dollars for one. And our company does not go into debt. I mean, they're very wise. So this is amazing.
It takes a while because they have to come from Norway. I think that's where they're made. And each one's like the size of a school bus. So they're amazing. But he said that they're definitely looking forward to the future. I think they've realized that this new demand is not just a blip in the road that's going to come back down. And so they're looking forward to the future. So anyway, with the freeze dryers they have now and all the new people that they're hiring, they've said that they will be getting things up within the next 2 to 3 weeks. They're going to start seeing stuff in stock, and they're not actually announcing it yet. So I'm not supposed to say anything, but they're really pushing toward the Black Friday sale. Now, for those of you who are relatively new, you don't know that normally we have 3 big sales per year: the spring sale, back to school sale, and the Black Friday sale. And usually the way it works is everything on the website is on sale, some of things as much as 50%. Now, I don't know what it's going to look like this year. And they did say they're not going to have things like Simple Plate and to-go meals because they're pretty complicated to make because they take a lot of ingredients, but they're pushing hard for all of the single ingredient, fruits and vegetables and meats. And they have to have enough to support a sale, because they sell out really quickly. But at this point, they're not sure, but they're really pushing for that. So don't announce it to customers or anything yet, because we don't know yet. But I just to let you know, that's where they're headed. That's what they want to do.
That's amazing. And so what does that mean to you as consultants? Well, not only is that great for you to be able to get your things on sale, but this is like the biggest sales and paychecks of the year for consultants. And so if we're able to have that, again, we have to have inventory to be able to do that. but you'll want to make sure you're getting that word out to people. And it's a great time to schedule tastings or one-on-ones around that. So they're trying the food and say, this is, I think, our first sale this year. Did we have one in March before coronavirus?
No,
We never did.
nope.
So yeah, we'll just see how that goes. But if we don't, we still have the blessing of getting food. We have that blessing right now. So get what you can while you can. That is the message tonight. Remember, focus, flexible. It's about others. Calculate, map it out, plan your days in advance of what you're going to do with your business and life. Utilize your uplines and be specific. And we're grateful to you to be in this company. It's a wonderful, amazing company, great people, incredible leaders, incredible executives that care so much about the people. It's all about the people for them. And a great thanks to Bill and Elizabeth. We love you guys.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we've been here almost an hour, so I think we need to cut it off. If anybody else has any other questions, you can ask them on the Facebook group, or you can message me or call me directly, and I will do my best to answer them for you. So thanks everybody for coming along for this. And of course, I've now started to try to have at least one Zoom meeting per month, planning it for the last Monday of every month. So, I'll get the information out for the next one too. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Good night, guys. Have a
All right.
great night.
Be blessed, guys.